The way people are getting hired in 2026 is changing right now, and almost nobody is talking about it. If you're trying to break into the tech industry or just want to get paid for what the skills are actually worth, stay with me for the next few minutes. This is one that you're actually going to want to watch all the way through. Up until about 18 or so months ago, the move was simple. You got a credential, a degree, a boot camp, a certificate, something with a seal on it. And honestly, it worked. Now, the problem is the window is closing, and it's closing fast. But here's the part that makes this good news instead of bad news. It's not closing because the jobs are disappearing. It's the exact opposite. PwC just went through over 1 billion job ads across 27 countries. Postings that were asking for real AI skills are growing 8 times faster than the rest of the job market. And they carry a 62% wage premium over the identical role without those AI skills. So the money is there. That was never the problem. The problem is that nobody can tell who actually has the skills anymore. Every resume says AI proficient. Every cover letter was written by a genius AI model. Every certificate is just a weekend and a credit card. The hiring signal is dead. And when the signal dies, hiring doesn't just stop. It just quietly moves somewhere else. And in this case, it already has. Most people haven't noticed yet. And like every shift like this, the ones who move early take most of it. I work at Microsoft on AI and Copilot. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what replaced the credential and hand you a 4-step roadmap to get one for yourself in the next 12 weeks. Built on something that Microsoft just published completely free that's hit #1 on GitHub trending this week. So let's get into it. So what replaced the credential? Proof of work. That's what replaced it. Things that you built sitting in public that somebody can actually click on. I call them receipts. Nobody can verify that you know AI, but everybody can click a link. And I want to be specific because building a portfolio is advice that people have been giving forever, and it's useless on its own. A receipt is not a tutorial that you followed, and it isn't a certificate. It's a working thing in public, timestamped with your name on the commits, and it has to solve a problem that somebody actually has. Now, I don't think that recruiters are sitting around browsing GitHub for fun. They don't do that. What a receipt actually does is win the conversation that you already got. It's the thing that you send them after the screen. It's the link in the follow-up email. It's the answer to tell me something about yourself or something that you built that isn't a story. It's a URL. And I know it's a much smaller claim than, hey, just post some projects and you're going to start getting jobs. But it's the one that's actually true. I co-founded a company called Candor. It stands for Candid Conversations That Open Career Doors. And it enables people to get free one-on-one conversations with advisors inside the companies that they're trying to break into. The pattern here isn't subtle. Talent is everywhere. Access isn't. The people who break through are not the ones that have the best credentials. They're usually the ones that have the right network and they can point to something real. So you need receipts, but how do you actually get them? And that's the part that actually surprised me a lot when I was making this video. The repo that I mentioned, it's called AI for Beginners, and Microsoft has been quietly maintaining it for years. 24 lessons, 12 weeks, more than 70 contributors, and the primary author has a PhD focused on this. It has 58,000 stars, and I think it's probably at 60 or 70 now, and it just went to #1 on trending in the last day or so. Before this, I had honestly never read the whole thing, so this week I sat down and I read it, all of it, cover to cover. And I need to say something about the name here, because it's the reason that a lot of you will scroll past this. For Beginners describes where this starts. It does not describe where it ends. By section 4, you're building systems that can look at images or generate new ones. By section 5, you're customizing advanced language models to read specialized text. And if you already write code, you're not the wrong audience here. You're just going to move through the first third very fast. Buried inside this repo are 11 different assignments, not quizzes, real projects. One has you train a model to read 1,500 medical papers and then pull out every disease and chemical mentioned using a model trained on real medical data. Another has you classify 35 breeds of dogs and cats from photos using transfer learning. And then another one has you train a model to balance a pole on a cart by letting it fail a few thousand times until it stops failing. It's really cool. Now, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. There's people right now that are paying probably 4 figures for a boot camp that's not even as good as this repo. These are free, and they're sitting in a folder that most people who clone it are never going to even open. Now, that's your receipt factory. And that's the entire thesis and why I made this video. And there's 2 things that tell you that this is serious and not a marketing asset. There's a file in it called For Teachers, and it opens with basically saying, would you like to use this as a part of your curriculum in a classroom? Feel free. And then it walks the professor through how they can actually wire this in GitHub Classroom. They've also translated this in over 50 languages, which is auto-maintained by a GitHub action so that they don't go stale. So here's the reality. I'm showing you the best AI curriculum that a $1 trillion company can put together in your first language for free with no application, no fee, no visa, no nothing. Nobody's going to build that just for marketing. You build that when you want the floor open. And the tagline is 3 words, AI for all. And I think they meant it very literally. So here are your 4 steps. And screenshotting this would probably be a very good idea right now. Step 1, spend 1 evening proving to yourself that you can actually start this. I'm not saying that you can do an amazing job. I'm saying just start. Get going. There's a folder called examples with 4 standalone files. A hello AI world, a neural network that's built from scratch with no framework, an image classifier, and a sentiment analyzer. Every line commented, and you need Python, NumPy, and nothing else. And you don't need any machine learning background. You do need to read basic Python, loops, functions, and lists. If you can't yet, that's going to be a weekend on its own, and it's actually the first step for you. So do those 4 before you touch the curriculum. It sounds small, but it's the difference between finishing this and quitting it in week 2. And almost everybody is skipping it. Step 2, pick 1 lane and run the core lessons. So lesson 5 hands you the professional tooling. PyTorch on one side, TensorFlow and Keras on the other side. Pick one, don't do both. Doing both is the single most common way that you're probably going to get burnt out by doing all this. Then run lessons 1 through 8. 2 of them pay off way harder than the rest. Lesson 3 is the perceptron. It's invented in 1957 and it's a physical machine with a grid of photocells. The code is 12 lines of Python, weights, step function, gradient descent, and basically every single model in production today is using the exact same loop, just scaled way higher up. Lesson 5 has a section on overfitting. 2 graphs, 5 data points. The left side is a simple model that gets it roughly right, and the right side is a model that's powerful enough to pass through every point perfectly. 0 training error, 20% validation error. That's what the demo worked and production didn't actually looks like. Once you've seen it, you can name it in a meeting. And the last lesson, AI ethics, is the sneaky one. 6 principles, Microsoft's responsible AI toolbox, fairness dashboards, error analysis. When someone asks, how do we know that this model isn't biased? The person who says, let's run a fairness dashboard is the person who's going to get put on that project. And if you're not even trying to switch jobs, you just want to be the AI person where you already work, that line right there is probably going to be one of your fastest ways in. Pick them very deliberately because 4 different looking receipts is going to beat 11 that look the exact same. Maybe 1 image classifier, the Oxford Pets Lab is right there. 1 language model, the medical text lab, because I customized an advanced language model on biomedical text is going to end your interview in a good way. 1 thing that moves, the reinforcement learning lab is pretty dope because a GIF of your model learning to balance is probably one of the most watchable things that you'll ever put on your resume. And then 1 that you're just going to pick yourself, right? Same techniques, your own data, and then a problem that you actually know about, ideally from potentially your exact job. And that 4th one is the one that most people are going to ask you about. Step 4, package them so that they read as proof, not homework. This is where almost everyone stops. And it's the step that turns a folder into an actual career asset. For each one of these labs, write a README with 3 things in it. What the problem was, what you did, and a number. Not, I built an image classifier. Instead, classifies 35 breeds at 91% accuracy, trained in 11 minutes on a free collab GPU. Name the metric, then move it, then say the number out loud. Pin all 4 of them to your GitHub profile so that it's the first thing that anyone sees. Link goes in your resume, your LinkedIn, and it's the first line on every single application. So let me give you the quick version if you're in a hurry. 12 weeks is just the label. It's not going to be the law. The step 1 here is just starting to get working. You can probably do about 4 labs within a month. And if you really move with urgency and have receipts for all of these, you might be in a pretty good spot. It's not going to make you an AI engineer overnight. But what it does put you in is the small group of applicants who can actually show instead of just claim. In a market where every single credential reads almost identical, that's much bigger of an edge than it should be. And here's the part that I actually care about. For 30 years, the ramp that got you into this type of work was gated by money and geography and who you know. LinkedIn themselves said that you were 12x more likely to get a job based on where you went to school, who you knew, and who your parents knew. That ramp and that chance now is this material from Microsoft. And it's free and it's in 50 languages today. The gate to get into the tech industry did not get lowered. It got deleted and almost nobody noticed. This means the excuse is gone too. It's not about money anymore. It's not about a degree. It's about 4 hours every single week until you finish the labs to understand what are the actual basics of the most consequential technology in our lifetime. 12 weeks from today is a date on your calendar either way. The only question is whether you're going to show up for that date with receipts or without them. I'm Wadud AI. If you enjoyed this, don't hesitate to subscribe and leave a comment. I'd love to hear about the challenges that you all are going through and what you thought about the repo. Go build. Peace.